Okay, thanks, Ken.
Let me flip the switch here. Just needs to spool up a couple seconds. All right, the meeting is yours, Mr. Chair. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Welcome to the Lyon Township Planning Commission meeting for Monday, January 25th, 2021. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, very good. Kelly, if you take roll, please.
Sure. Patricia Carconi.
Here in Lyon Township.
Jim Chuck.
Here, Lyon Township, Michigan.
Michael Conflitti.
Here, Lyon Township, Michigan.
Ronko Mikovsky.
Here, Lyon Township, Michigan.
Ron Bennington.
Here, Lyon Township, Michigan.
Kurt Radke.
Here, Lyon Township, Michigan.
Carl Town.
President, Lyon Township, Michigan.
All right, very good. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve if there are no changes. Support. With Carl.
A motion by Mr. Chuck, approved by Mr. Town, correct?
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Approval of consent agenda, January 11th, 2021 minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted. Support.
Motion by Mr. Town, support by Mr. Chuck. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? I didn't ask, is Tina here tonight?
Well, yes, she texted me. She was planning on being here, but her mother had a gallbladder operation today. So
okay.
She actually had to take an emergency call from her sister. So I hope everything's okay.
Okay, all right. All right, Chris, if you'd start us off, AP 20-04 Event Barns text amendment.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me back. I know it's been a little while, and I brought back your favorite topic, event barns, which you discussed, numerous times over in the course of your meetings in 2020, and ultimately made a recommendation to the Township Board for an amendment to the ordinance. And they have referred back 3 issues for further consideration by the Planning Commission. The first is about noise. And several board members felt that amplified music should be permitted till 11 p.m. to match the noise standards township-wide. The next is minimum lot size. The Planning Commission didn't recommend a minimum lot size because the preferred lot size would exclude so many parcels. But the board did feel that further consideration of a minimum lot size might be appropriate. And then the third item was essentially the event barns, the event rental space. As the amendment is proposed, it would be a special land use. The board had mixed feelings about whether it should be allowed as a special land use or whether agritourism should focus on just agriculturally related uses. And so those are the 3 items. And I think that a general discussion and feedback on those would be appreciated and helpful to take back to the board.
All right, thanks, Chris. We don't have anyone here from, weren't we going to have, Patty, weren't we going to have someone come speak to us or no? Was it?
No, remember I told you that our attorney, like not Carol, but our insurance attorney, sorry. Our insurance attorney I was talking to her about event barns one time, and remember I told you that she really didn't recommend them, and I think Lisa checked into that with her.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'd mentioned
All
that
right.
a couple of times.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's, Carl, you want to start us off on this?
Let me unmute here.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I'll cite the event rental space first, special land use, or be focused on agriculturally related use only, which is a site plan review. And I'm in agreement with that, but if we do that, then you're also in, I mean, do we change the agritourism wording on the noise from 10 to 11? I think not. And then the minimum lot size, they were looking for a minimum lot size. We, as far as I remember, we all were looking at 30 acres. That's my memory. So I'm going to stick to it. So that would be my thoughts. 30 acres, sticking to the noise at 10 o'clock, and the event rental space go to the site plan review, which would be the same under the agriculture related.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Radke?
Chris, could you confirm the minimum? What did they exactly say about the minimum lot size? Carl thought it was 30 acres. Are they asking us?
Yeah, so the amendment that was the proposed amendment that the PC recommended did not include a minimum lot size. And, you know, I know you guys discussed it a lot, 30 was discussed, but ultimately, and I apologize, I wasn't at the meeting where you made the final decision about your recommendation, but at least Brian came away and further took the amendment to the board without a minimum lot size. And so they're sending it back to basically what if the PC were to recommend one, what would it be essentially?
Yeah,
And Kurt, that was just my recommendation. I mean, we had talked about it before. I just, from my recall, and I looked at all the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, and I thought it through, and I thought that my recommendation would be 30. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, and I know we talked a lot about that, but I know we were leaning upwards of 20 at a minimum, or 30. I can't remember exactly. But I know we wanted it to be larger, which meant that there weren't going to be very many sites available.
Chris, can you put the map up, the parcel size map?
And while you're doing that,
One
Chris, can you talk and do that, or should I wait?
You can go for it. It's going to take me just a minute to go through our files and pull it up.
I'll wait.
Mr. Chairman, while he's pulling that up, can I just quickly state a couple things?
Sure. Yeah, please.
I'm actually in agreement with Carl to the T. However, I'm sensing we're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. And we've been over and over this, but as Carl stated, the way he stated it, I feel like I could go along with that. If we're sending it back, it'd be my recommendations also. And I do believe we kind of came to a consensus on 30 acres, Carl.
And I'm fine with the 30 acres also.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jim.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Kurt.
Okay, can I interject here?
Please.
I wasn't sitting here before when you were going through this originally. But when you decide upon the minimum amount of acreage, have you done an evaluation of the land available to actually accommodate this use?
Yeah,
You have?
yeah,
Okay,
that was the
great.
map.
So
He's
then
pulling the map up now, Carol.
there are some sites that would be available at 30 acres plus. Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yeah. I think the concern was, though, some of the acres were long and narrow, and they still might be 30 acres, but they wouldn't qualify for an event barn. Didn't we discuss that also? Because of the noise?
Talked
similar
about a
to
minimum frontage, to your point, Mike, yes.
Yeah.
minimum frontage. Okay.
Carol McKenna's letter from September 25th said that there's 45 parcels larger than 30 acres and 27 larger than 40.
Oh, that would be appropriate for this use theoretically.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Bronco, does it say whether those parcels are on paved road or dirt?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It just said that there's a larger than 20, 30, and 40 acres and how many there are.
Okay.
The only other question, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to ask if you had other questions.
Just
Go ahead.
the issue about the noise ordinance, there's a noise ordinance already for 11 PM in the township. And I understand why they would want to be consistent.
Yes.
Carl and Jim, what do you, don't you, I'm thinking we should be consistent. That wasn't brought up that I recall in the previous meetings.
If I
might add that if we're going under agritourism, we already have a time at 10. That's why I'm trying to keep it consistent. I mean, unless we go back to the drawing board. I mean, like I said, it's pretty confusing to me.
Agritourism has already got it listed at 10, and we're being consistent with
correct,
that.
and that's
gotcha. I got you.
Assumption. That's only the assumption I can go by if we're going to have focus on agricultural related use.
Patty, were you at the meeting when they pushed it back? What were they thinking?
Yes, I was. First of all, they want to keep it on paved roads. They did like that. They wanted a minimum acreage, which I agree. I still agree with 30 acres too. I'm with Carl and Jim and Kurt. I think 30 acres, if you have that kind of event that can be daily and over the weekend, I think you need room for that kind of stuff. I don't mind the 11 o'clock, honestly. If you're having a wedding, I mean, graduations and all that kind of stuff. Usually, I think somewhere in our ordinance, I think it says it's 11 o'clock, but I didn't know about the agritourism. So that I was not aware of. So, but I have no problem with 11 o'clock.
What I think
makes logical sense to me. I mean,
yeah, Patty, what I think, to Carl's point, we should keep things consistent. We should change the agra to 11 and, for everything, if that makes sense.
11 o'clock, that seems reasonable. I mean, you don't want to be, if you're having a wedding, seriously, and somebody puts all this time, I don't think 11 for music is unreasonable.
No, I agree with you, Patty, but I just say we should go back and change the agra to 11 for
I agree.
Everything under that umbrella to be consistent to Carl and Jim's point.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I do think 11 o'clock is okay.
That's all I have to say.
And if you're on 30 acres or large lots, you should be okay with the noise. I mean, you can't control noise. Noise is a really difficult thing, let me tell you. We had a noise meter, and then you got to get somebody professional that reads them, and you're hoping, if you have it till 11 and it's music, then after that you can call the police. I mean, that's what you can do. But I think if you have it large enough, like a 30-acre parcel, that seems reasonable to me. So,
and we also talked about proper buffering and insulation. So,
it'd be a special land use
not
too.
A deal breaker for me. If 10 or 11, I'm comfortable with it. So I'm okay with that.
Ron, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I don't mind if it's 10 or 11. I just think it needs to be consistent with whatever that's zoned at or whatever area that is, whatever the area it's in. The minimum lot size, 30 is pretty big. I would think that, that there's a lot of room there and they should be able to fit that. That doesn't bother me either. I think that's fine also. I also agree with the being on paved roads, and I think that's it, right? That's all I have.
All right. Patty, do you know, has there been other interest other than that couple? Where were they from? Out east, I think.
They were from New Jersey.
Yeah.
We have not heard of anything yet
Okay.
that I am aware of.
All right.
They're the only ones that have approached us.
Okay. So would we, on this one, Chris, would we make a recommendation to the board?
Actually, I was just thinking about that and I wanted to get Carol's opinion. Is it just an alteration of the recommendation that they made? Can they just take a vote on it now? Are the changes so significant that another public hearing of it needs to take place?
No, I don't think we need to have another public hearing, but I think you want to probably do a recommendation to the board that outlines I think I've got 4 conditions that you talked about. That it would be only on paved roads, 30 acres minimum, 11 PM maximum, cutoff time for noise, and that there be sufficient buffering.
I'll support that motion.
Is there something else that I missed? I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
there's just one more thing that I think we're
Okay.
seeking clarification on.
All right.
So right now, agricultural tourism is a permitted use in the R10 district. This amendment specifically makes agritourism related, so event barns basically, we're lumping them in together. And so they become excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue tied, non-agricultural uses lumped in to the agricultural related uses as a special land use.
I think to simplify this, that this would be a special land use.
Yes, yeah, so it is right now. And I think the question was, is it even worthwhile to have as a special land use? Yeah, are event barns worthwhile?
Well, okay, that's a policy decision, so I'll leave it up to the PC on that.
I'd say yes.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes.
What was that? What was
Whether
the
it's
comment, Patty?
worthwhile to have them,
Yeah, under special land use.
yeah.
Well,
So
the way I was reading it, and the board's questioning was that it shouldn't be under the special land use. And Patty, you were there, so you can explain it. Because
Well, they
according
question,
to number 9, it should be a site plan review rather than a special land use. Because we'll have all the particulars signed, sealed, and delivered. So if we've got they have to have policing, they have to have yada yada yada, their liquor license, and everything is in this that we're giving to the board, that it would just come under a site plan review. Now that's my understanding.
And that's probably correct, but my recommendation would be, because it has the potential to have negative impacts on surrounding properties, that you would want to make this a special land use to be able to consider the particular situation for each property.
especially they could put it right on the lot line.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I
and we
think this needs to be a
talked
special
about
land.
that, and we sent it to the board with a special land use.
Well, they just
But it's coming back to us.
Right.
it's
They just
coming
asked the
back to us.
question, Carl, and I think you're right. I think the planning commission's recommendation that it be a special land use is good.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, then, well, let's have a motion on this, then move it forward.
So if I kind of play back what I heard, We're
Sure.
talking about a use like this would only be on paved roads, 30 acres minimum lot size, 11 PM shut off for any kind of noise. That there would be buffering required to cut down on the noise and impact, and that it be a special land use.
Chris, does
Want
that
to put
cover
the
everything?
minimum lot width in again?
Yeah, what was the minimum lot width that you determined?
The September
Chris?
25th meeting shows 300 feet.
Okay, that sounds good.
Isn't that already in, or do we have to restate that?
Well, it is already in.
I think it
so-
doesn't hurt to put it all
Okay.
in as the recommendation to the board.
All right, well, Carl, do you want to take a shot at it, or do you want
That
me?
would be my motion, to mirror what Carol said.
I will support that.
Kelly, did you get all that?
Sure did, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Kelly,
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? All right, very good. Good job. Okay,
Mr. Chairman? Mike?
we got Chris, AP 20-50, DA
Mike,
Development.
Kurt had a
Site
question,
plan.
Mike.
Mike,
Sure.
can I,
Kurt, question.
can I just, Chris, could you take an action item to, I think that Carl's point, and Jim and I agreed in the beginning to have it consistent, to look at that 10 o'clock curfew for the noise with the agribusiness.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then maybe we can look if it's worth changing that so we're consistent.
No
Thank you.
problem at all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good.
Okay, can I go for it, Mr. Chairman?
Please,
All
please
right,
do.
and I just wanted to start by saying big thank you to Carol for helping me get to my point about the special land use. I was struggling, so thank you. Okay, so the next item, AP 20-50, is a site plan that proposes to construct an additional 6,500 square foot building on a roughly 3-acre site off W.K. Smith Boulevard or Street. The site is currently home to an existing 21,200 square foot office and warehouse building. And the site is zoned I-1 light industrial, where warehouses, manufacturing, and professional offices are permitted by right. Also, the site does not fall within the wellhead protection overlay district and does not have to go through the special land use procedures that for sites that fall under that designation. Though the applicant didn't provide an industrial activity statement, they did clarify that the proposed second building will be an extension of the office and warehousing space from the primary existing structure on site. And so now I'll just jump into the criteria requirements. Number 2, the setbacks and dimensions for the I-1 district. The proposed building meets side and rear yard setbacks. However, the first point we would like to get to is the parking in the front yard. The required setback is 40 feet, and though it's not dimensioned on the site plan, there are at least 13 spaces and 2 to 3 barrier-free spaces in the front row of the new building don't comply with this standard. And so typically a revised plan removing or redesigning those spaces would be submitted. However, the applicant has indicated they wish to pursue a variance for the location of those spaces. And following the zoning ordinance requirements, the site plan has to be considered by the Planning Commission first before the variance application can be submitted for ZBA review. Going along, the lot coverage and building height comply with the standards for the I-1 district. And then next we'll get to the architectural elevation. This building will consist mostly of brick veneer with metal siding. and it has 2 entrances proposed in the front and on the western wall. One thing we would like to note is that the floor plans indicate that there is the potential for 2 roll-up doors on the western side of the building. They aren't proposed at this time, but they're under consideration in the future. And so what that would entail is new facades and curb cuts in the existing drive aisles and potentially a rearranging of the maneuvering lanes on site. This won't require action by the Planning Commission. That can be administratively reviewed. We've done a few of them recently, and it's just something to note and be aware of. The applicant did not complete the architectural design guidelines evaluation. However, Brian went through it and assigned it a grade of passing, and believes that they meet the standards for approval. And then always our note that material and color samples should be provided for the Planning Commission to review. I believe in the applicant's letter, they indicated they would be doing that tonight. The dumpster is existing, and there are no sites or fences proposed for the site. At number 8 in our initial review, we noted that we need the applicant to identify where the location of mechanical equipment will be on the site plan. In their response letter to our initial review letter, the applicant indicated that this equipment would largely be inside, and we find that response kind of satisfies our issues with that item. Next, number 9, outdoor lighting. Similarly, we request in our review letter that the applicant submit light fixture details and a photometric plan. The applicant did submit that once we released this letter, and I believe you can find that in your packet on the website. We believe that the light fixtures and photometric plan comply with the standards in section 12.11. And then signs and outdoor storage, we have no comments on. And then getting to parking, the applicant exceeds the number of spaces on site and proposes 22 additional. And then as I noted at the top of this review, 15 of those spaces are currently in the required front yard setback, and a variance will be sought for those. The applicant complies with the loading standards. And additionally, they comply with the frontage requirements for deciduous trees, ornamental trees, and shrubs, as well as the general landscaping standard requirements. And then the only comment in the landscaping section that I want to highlight for you, we requested the proposed witch hazel, and I cannot pronounce that word, viburnum should be swapped out for evergreen species. The applicant has submitted a revised landscape plan, which I believe is in that packet online as well, which satisfies this comment. They have proposed an evergreen species to provide that screening. Finally, no new sidewalks are proposed. A traffic study is not required for a building of this size. And so in our recommendation, we did highlight a few things that were outstanding. But as I noted above, we believe that the applicant's response on the HVAC and mechanical equipment, lighting details, and required screening shrubs have all been satisfied. And the only outstanding issue for the site is the parking and the required setback, which again will go to the ZBA for a requested variance. However, because parking on site already exceeds the minimum, should a variance not be granted for the parking, we don't believe that it will really change the intent or reasoning for approval of the site plan, which we do recommend. If you guys have any questions or need any clarification, I'm happy to answer.
Right. Thank you, Chris. Any questions for Chris? Okay.
Not at this time.
Thank you, sir. Rick Minor, you're up.
Mr. Chairman, thank you and good evening. You have our report of January 20th. We had a couple of concerns. I'll touch on a few of these. where the applicant has submitted a revised plan that addresses the majority of my concerns. Item 2, it appears the building will be sprinkled. The FD connection must be within 75 feet of a hydrant. He has corrected that. Item 5, the plan shows the use of infiltration trenches in lieu of catch basins. That was a mistake on my part. Those were actually swales, and those are being corrected. Item 7, an auto turn analysis of the proposed layout is required to show that drive aisles may accommodate a township fire truck, the largest truck, the ladder truck. I didn't see that on the revised plan, which I believe is in your packet. It's a revised engineering site plan. And perhaps Bill Clark can address that. Item 10, the new building doesn't appear to provide ADA access. They have provided that. And adjustments in the landscape plan, item 11, need to be made. He has done that. I still have some issues, but it's no big deal. There's some more adjustments that need to be made. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Any questions for Rick?
Yeah, I have one for Rick. Rick,
Kurt.
number 11, you said there's an issue of landscaping. Shouldn't we note it so it gets corrected?
That is something that I can work out with Bill Clark
Okay.
before he submits plans for stamp approval.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just as a follow-up, Rick, so then, you know, you would feel comfortable based on whatever else needs to be tightened up, if I'm understanding you correctly.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Carol, did you have anything to add?
No.
No.
Had a hard time unmuting myself there. Now we're good.
Okay, okay, thank you. Applicant,
Yes,
name and address, please.
Me.
Susan, do you want to take this?
Yeah, you were jumping in. Susan Bowers, Bowers and Associates, 2400 South Huron Parkway, Ann Arbor, Michigan, 48104. Chris and Rick covered a lot of the issues and comments that have come back in the 2 letters. We've addressed all of them basically, except some landscaping things. And I believe Bill Clark may have the turning analysis. I think that was done. I did not receive a copy of it. He probably has it. And I can share my screen and show a picture of the existing building, and our intention is to match the new building with the same brick color and materials, if that makes sense. Let's see if I can share that. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So that would be the plan, that the building would match that building in brick color. The rendering, which is, hang on, here it is. The rendering has more of a neutral colored siding material, as you can see from the rendering on the screen here, as opposed to a greenish color to it. Probably will be dark bronze windows or clear anodized aluminum windows and door frames. The floor plan here indicates mostly warehouse, a little bit of office, maybe 20% office. And elevations which you have in your packet as well here. Brick on the south side and the west side, and then brick and siding on the east and the north elevations. And I think that's it, unless you have any other questions.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Any questions for Susan?
Yeah, Susan, could you pull up the photometric, please?
Yep. What do you need to see on it?
I
can zoom
wasn't
in.
able to read it at all online, what the outskirt was. If you can enlarge that.
So are you looking for what it is at the property
At the edge.
line?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're 0 at the property line. On the north property line, it's 0.2. On the east property line, it's 0 to 0.2. And on the south, we're at 0, 0. And even at the setback line here, it's like 0.1, 0.2. Does that
Okay.
help?
That helps a lot. I just couldn't read it on my drawings online. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions for Susan? No, okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
we also have Mr. Dan
hey, Bill.
and Megan that would like to speak to the parking at the appropriate time.
Yeah, please do.
Dan?
Yep. I'm Megan and this is Dan, and we're at 10618 Lighthouse Point, South Line, Michigan, 48178.
You can talk first.
Okay, so our one thing is with the parking. Right now, we currently occupy the building, and we submitted a letter with them. Not sure if you guys saw it, but we were the original tenants in the building. So when we first started, we had a small office of like 30 people, and our business has since expanded to, you know, we're in 19 states now, and this is our headquarters office. So we have like 300 employees. They're not all there, but we do have, you know, a lot of meetings, safety meetings, stuff like that. We also don't just do plumbing now, we do fire protection, real estate development. So we're always holding different meetings in there, as well as our other tenant who is CrossFit, and they have been there for 7 years, and they've expanded, added more classes, more trainers, more members. So like I took a picture today at 3 o'clock, and I can show you like the front of the building's full, the side of the building's full. So where this building would go without additional parking, there would be no parking for them. And we have another building in Lyon Township, and the tenant is requested like 49 spaces, and we ended up giving them 40 spaces, and they're only occupying 10,000 square feet. So
Can you
Can we
bring
put up
up
the
the
parking plan?
site plan or parking plan, please?
Yeah.
I'm Dan Aller. I own the building, and we're a tenant in there also. If just one of the points I was making, or that we're on the west elevation picture. We show all glass. I know that's not up right now, but on the west side, we made that all glass. So it's set up for, and we asked for those possible future doors. But putting all that glass in there, I don't have a problem doing more office space. It just gives us the flexibility, you know, with all the windows. And in the building that we're in now, the existing building, the east side of it, same thing. It's all windows. Before CrossFit was in there, you know, I think we had like a security, a data company in there. Toll Brothers was in there for probably 5 years. So it's kind of like, depends what tenant comes by, whether it's a warehouse user or an office user. But that's one of the reasons why we were asking for the additional parking spaces. I don't have a problem doing some extra landscaping if you want. I know in the back, you haven't seen it yet, but back by the dumpster pad, in the left-hand corner, we were putting a big, huge garden in there for the office people. And then the CrossFit people that, was going to be in the back behind the dumpster area. So everything's been going great working with you guys. I think, we have a building across William K. Smith. That building's over 30 years old. All the buildings that we have always been fully occupied. We've never had any vacancies on any of them. So, you guys have been great to work with. That's kind of what I have to say right now. If there's any other questions. Oh, you had something about the HVAC or the mechanicals. The building that we're in now, we basically have all the furnaces are all inside, and the condensing units for the air conditioners are basically residential type ones, like at your house, and those are up on the roof with on the existing building. And the ones at Lakeview, I know it's a different building, but we did the same thing there. And then this one, we would do the same thing, as they would be furnaces, just like your furnace at your house, and then the AC units on the roof.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Bill.
Yeah.
Those condensers, they were planned to go over on the east side of the property.
That's fine if they want them there too. That it does whatever the township wants. I'm fine.
Well, I think they'd be okay with that, but that's where our designers have been.
And I'm fine with that. And then I know that the east side of the building, that's basically we butt up to the retention pond for TNG.
Yes, but you have room there, and it's out of eyesight.
Yeah, I just wanted to let them know that that's what we're butting up to is a retention pond. Not a building.
No, and there's
make noise where they see them.
Right. But it would go in the setback area on the east side of the building is what we're considering.
Okay, that's fine.
Rick Minor, do you agree with everything you've heard so far?
Sorry about that, sir. I had to unmute. Yes, so far.
Okay, all right. Okay, Carl, Kurt, did you have any other questions?
Can just explain where the additional parking is on this diagram?
You want Susie, one of you guys want to do that?
Can you repeat what you requested what parking, the additional parking you want to see where it is?
Yes.
Okay, so the additional parking is this shaded area. Can you see that on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Right here, there's 13 spaces there, and there's 3 spaces right here in front of the new building. And they're additional parking basically for the office portions of the existing building and this building, because they have more visitors.
Okay, thank you. And just for clarification, there were not going to be any HVAC units on the roof. They're going to be on the east side, correct?
Yeah, if that's where you want them, on the east side, yes, that's where we'll put them.
We're going to put no HVAC units on the roof. There will be small condensers on the ground adjacent to the building.
Okay, I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
All right, good. You're not going to play any loud music after 11 p.m., are you?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Yes.
If I may.
I'm used to those ordinances.
So the zoning ordinance does not allow us to allow you to have that parking there, but so therefore you're going to apply for a variance. But I would like to say that that site is probably very unique to have. If you're going to slam some extra parking in there, very unique to have it. And I would send a message to the ZBA myself saying that I would be in support of that. I'm glad to see you growing, and I'll pass the torch to somebody else on the commission, but I'm in favor of the extra parking. You certainly need it.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
I'll just,
yes.
I have really nothing to add. However, I do agree. And duly noted, Mr. Town.
Okay, very good.
Can they please stop sharing the screen so we can see what? There we go. Much better.
Ron, did you have anything to add?
I agree. I think it's a good project, and I don't mind the extra parking either if it's landscaped well and screened a little bit.
Okay. All right. Very good. Bronco?
Nothing to add.
Okay. Patricia?
Yes, I'm very happy to see it. You know, getting an additional building means that they're doing well. And I have no problem with the extra parking. I hope the ZBA agrees with that because it's totally up to them. But maybe Jim Chuck can take that back to the, or take it to the ZBA when it's time. The Allers have been a really great tenant in Lyon or business in Lyon. So good luck to everybody. I hope it works out.
Yeah, very good. Bill, you have anything to add?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask one thing?
Sure.
When we did Lakeview, and I know that I appreciate everyone's comments. I think we've always been willing to work with everyone. When we did Lakeview building, we ran into, it's on the corner of 12 Mile and Lakeview by that asphalt plant in AAV. That building, we were dealing with 2 front setbacks. So I know we had to get a variance also for some parking along the 12 Mile area. Pretty much we did the same type of thing, but I think someone from here, do you sit on the zoning for the variance? Does someone sit here, or do you have to say something to them? Because I know it was a couple years ago. Whatever happened, you guys helped out. You know, so that I know that helped out by getting some approval. You know, in favor from you guys. I don't know. What is that? Does someone sit on that board or no?
Yes, they do, but there's been some changes in the law that would prohibit them from making a decision on this. So, but whatever is done here will be forwarded to the ZBA so they know what the recommendation is or the planning commission's thoughts are.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah, that helps. I know that. Thanks.
Mr. Chair, would you entertain a motion?
Please, sir.
I would make a motion to approve AP 20-50 contingent upon a variance for 15 parking spots to the ZBA. I'd like to make sure that the applicant's response to the McKenna letter dated 1/22 and the applicant's response to CES are consultants from 1/22, as well as the letters from McKenna from 1/21/2021. Oh, but there's a lot of ones in there. And CES letter from 1/20 of 2021. And the only thing I would add that's entered into the motion is that the HVAC is going to not be on the roof.
Carl, did you want to add that the planning commission was in support of?
No, I think it spoke for itself in the minutes.
Okay. All right.
I'll support that motion.
Carl, excellent. We have a motion by Carl, support by Mr. Chuck. Any other comments or questions? None. Okay. Kelly, will you take roll on this one?
You don't have to.
No, okay.
Yeah, so you can just call it Mike.
Just
call it. All those in favor?
Okay, we'll do that. I wanted to give Kelly something to do, but that's all right.
Well, you can do that.
I realize
she's still there.
So that's okay. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. We thank you. Have a good
Awesome.
night.
Have a nice night. Thank you. Good job on that, Carl. All right, where are we? Patricia, community reports.
I gave my board report last time, but Not really, just the township hall's really moving along and we've been
Okay.
picking out furniture and colors and we're still busy. You know, it's still tax time, so make sure you guys pay your taxes by February 14th. If you already
And-
didn't do it by the 31st of December, so.
And make
That's
checks out to Patricia,
That's
right? Do people make them out to Lyon Township?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, what
That's
people
not an
don't
issue.
realize is that I am responsible for collecting taxes for all the entities, Mike, not just Lyon. The township isn't. I'm double bonded by the county and bonded by the township. So when the checks come in, it's really my responsibility. When I transfer the money to the township, then that's my responsibility. But I'm collecting by a lot of people. And we once had a check that somebody tried to cash. They wrote Lyon Township on the back. It never made it to our office, and they tried to not sue us for it, but they tried to get the money. We said no.
Yeah.
That's and you got to be a legal signator. So even though we stamp all the checks,
Sure.
Michelle's the legal signature for the records. I'm for the cash, and John's for contracts. So that's all.
Understand. Okay. All right. Any other comments?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chuck, you had 750. Very good. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Support, Kurt.
Support by who's that?
Kurt.
Kurt.
Kurt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? All right.
Everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Next month.
everyone.
Thank
Good night,
Sayonara.
everyone.
Bye.
Good
Bye,
job.
John. It was so
Thank you.
great to see you.
Good to see you too, Patty.
All right. Bye-bye.
Tell everybody I
Thanks.
said hi over there.
I will. All right.